We'll bring in the Auburn quarterback, Brownie. Excited to see Payton every week here on this platform and talk to him about what's going on inside the complex down at Auburn.
Yeah, he's going to join us every Tuesday at this time for coverage of all things Auburn. Don't forget our website, thebarnauburn.com. Thebarnauburn.com. Great content there every single day, including message boards where you get some breaking news, depth chart projections, recruiting news, things like that. TheBarnAuburn.com. Go sign up today for just $1 for the first month. TheBarnAuburn.com. All right, Payton Thorne is the starting quarterback for the Auburn Tigers. As I mentioned, will join us at this time each week. Welcome in, Payton. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Man, we're doing awesome. Thanks a lot. How excited are you for another year of college football? One more year in the Hugh Freeze system. I'm presuming a little more comfortable and got some new weapons too.
Absolutely. I'm really excited. Every time football season rolls around, obviously there's excitement around just about every program and just the sport in general. So you got that natural excitement. And then also, like you said, with Coach Freeze for another year, got a lot of new players as well, new coaches, and there's a lot of excitement around the building right now.
We spoke to a group last night, and they, one of the questions was, how good can this Auburn team geek? Can it be one of the sneaky good teams? And I brought up, and I don't know if you remember this, we came to your facilities back in March, and I referenced TCU from 2 years ago. And out of nowhere, in Sonny Dykes' first year, they make a run. They play for the national championship. And when I brought that up, you said that internally you guys have had some conversations about this could be a TCU-like year.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of different guys on our team. And with the transfer portal, you have guys that have played in different programs. So talking with those guys that have had surprise seasons that, people weren't expecting, obviously, and have won a bunch of games. Me being one of those guys, we've talked amongst each other and talked with the team that, we have the capability of doing that. And, obviously it's not easy and it's not something that just happens. You have to put the work in and you have to have the right pieces come together. But, we've talked about that as a team and as a unit as well. And it's definitely something to look back on and to, have in the back of your mind.
The voice is cleaning up a little bit. It started off a little scratchy. I was wondering, do you ever get hoarse when you're Blue 32 doing that screaming like that? Does it take a while to get into midseason form with the vocal cords too?
A little bit. I remember there's been a couple of times in my career where we were playing at obviously some loud environments, and so during practice you hype up the noise in the indoor. And there was a couple of times I got to Friday and I'd been yelling all week. I'm like, hey guys, we might need to tone this back. I'm losing my voice before the game on Saturday. So there's definitely some of that. You got to have voice or vocal maintenance.
Payton Thorne with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Don't forget TheBarnAuburn.com for all your Auburn football and sports coverage. I mentioned those receivers, and Auburn fans are excited about this new group of receivers that you will be throwing to. In fact, I can't remember a time when Auburn fans have been so optimistic about receivers. What has it been like for the newcomers like Perry Thompson and Cam Coleman, all these new guys you've never played with over the summer, trying to develop some chemistry with them? What has that process been like?
It's been great. Obviously, guys came in at different times. So you guys like Cam, Robert Lewis, Sam Jackson, and Bryce were all here in the winter. So you got that extra time in the winter and then spring ball as well. And then guys like Perry, Malcolm, and Keandre, they came in the summer. And so, you work with those guys throughout the whole year. And obviously a guy like Dre, you try to get him in the summer and throw as much as you can. And I think we've done that and we're feeling good about where we're at. Obviously, it's going to keep growing as time goes on. But like I said before, it's really exciting right now, and it's fun playing with those guys. They're making plays and working hard while they're doing it. So that's the thing I'm most excited about is we got a bunch of guys that work. And so they're not afraid to work hard, and that's what they do on a day-to-day basis.
So what has Ken Austin done for your growth and progression?
He's been great. He's one of the key reasons why I decided to come to Auburn, 16 months ago or so. And, it's been great. Obviously, I have a good relationship with him, have built a relationship over the past year with him. Know about his family. Obviously, he knows about mine. And, it's fun. It's fun getting in that meeting room and listening to him. And we're on the same page on most things. And I've learned a lot from him. And also just comparing and contrasting my former experiences with obviously his years and years and years of experience. And so, just soaking it all in from him and and finding different ways to read things a tad bit faster, or look here for this tell here or there. And so it's been really good, and I'm excited to keep rolling with him.
Not that last year's team wasn't well built chemistry wise, but we've seen you at a place like Talladega with a bunch of guys, and when we were down in March in the facility, it seemed like the guys were all really close. Do you feel like, as the leader, one of the leaders of this team, that there is a good chemistry in the locker room? Because I've heard Coach Freeze talk about this already, that it just seems like everybody loves each other a little bit more this year.
Absolutely. There's no question about that. You can feel it in the locker room, like you said. We spent more time with each other this year, for sure, just doing things outside of football. And then also, year two of Coach Freeze, he's got more of his guys that are his quality of guy in the building now. And some of the guys that maybe didn't fit in or were uncomfortable in, Coach Freeze's system, or around guys like that have left. And I'm not saying all the guys were like that left, but you kind of, as year two forms, you get more of the mold of what Coach Freeze is looking for. The recruiting class he brought in is his kind of guys. And so when you have more like-minded guys, you're gonna have more chemistry. That's pretty much anywhere in life. And so when you got guys that think the same, and they work hard, and value the same things, you're gonna enjoy spending more time with each other. So I'd say that's a big reason for that.
Auburn starting quarterback Payton Thorne for a few more moments on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. This in-helmet communication was discussed by your head coach with us at SEC Media Days, and he talked as if, or really said, you guys had really little to no opportunity to even test it up until fall camp. So how has it gone for you? How comfortable are you with Hugh Freeze or Ken Alston or whoever is the voice in your head calling in these plays? Who is that voice, and how comfortable are you with the whole process right now?
Yeah, I've been listening to Coach Freeze. It's been an adjustment for sure. Obviously, he's never used it, not being in the NFL at all in his coaching past. And then obviously I've never used it either, because you don't use it in high school or in college until this year. So it's been interesting. I like it a lot, honestly. You're not sure, because most teams are no huddle in college. And so everyone's been like, well, what's kind of the point? You set the signal to receivers. But for me, hearing the play, it gives me an extra few seconds to not be looking at the signaler and be looking at the defense. So I love it. It's definitely going to be a process, just as everything else is, as we get into the season. It's going to be our first time using it at home. It's going to be our first time using it on the road. It's going to be our first time using it with a lot of crowd noise. All that stuff will be a first. So we're trying to emulate as many of those things as we can in practice, and then also try to figure out what's wrong with the thing. Like, it might go out at some point. Okay, what are we doing then? I got to switch helmets and get one that works. All that's different stuff. So I've liked it so far. I think it definitely has a benefit for college football, and it's just coaches got to get used to it. I got to get used to it, and I'm sure by the end of the season it'll be second nature.
All right, so let's say play clock hits 15. You don't have the full play yet, and timeouts are at a premium. You don't want to burn a timeout. What do you do? Do you have the liberty to call a play that you think will work? I mean, what is the process there? Because now clock's ticking down.
Yeah, that's actually happened a couple times in practice, where maybe the play clock's running down, and I've just had to call the play. And so call the play, get them lined up as fast as we can, and then roll. Like you say, you're not trying to waste the timeout in early third quarter or something like that. So just call a safe play that should work against just about anything they give to us. If I see something, if they're bringing a pressure or something, I'll get us to that certain play that we want to get to that week, and just try to gain 2 or 3 and eliminate a penalty, and sitting at 2nd and 15 and be at 3rd and 8 or not, or 7 or 8. And that's a lot better situation.
Dunaway mentioned back in the spring we saw you and your boys out at Talladega. What else did you do in the offseason to kind of decompress, get away from football?
Yeah, we get kind of the month off in May, and I took a little trip, about a 10-day trip myself. And actually went out to California, hung out in the desert for a few days, and then drove to Arizona. I'd never been to Arizona, so I want to check that out. I was in the desert a little bit more there. And I actually flew to Montana, and my dad joined me out in Montana, and I'd never been up there either. I've been a beach guy for most of my life, and I want to check out more of the country, because I want to travel the world and see as much as I can in my lifetime. And so my thought process is let me check off as much of the United States as I can before I go out of the country. And I was waiting on my passport too, so I couldn't go out of the country yet. So I checked out some of that. I will say in Montana, we were up in Glacier National Park, and that was maybe the coolest thing I've ever seen. It was just unbelievable seeing the different mountains and lakes and all that, and hiking with the bears and whatnot. So that was a lot of fun, and did that. And then obviously spent some time on the golf course as well over the summer with the guys, and just messing around out there and having a good time.
Not to get too invasive, but back to you said you spent time in the desert. A lot of people go out there and they try to find themselves spiritually. They detach from society. They turn off all their phones and electronics, all that kind of stuff. Was that the kind of journey you were on, or was it something different?
Not quite. It was not the full blown isolation or anything like that. But I was out there, and there's not much to do out there. I got an Airbnb pretty much in the middle of nothing. I mean, it was a dirt road, gravel road, for 2 miles to get to the house, and so it was a really cool place that I stayed, and something I would definitely do again. And then just out there relaxing, reading, doing some writing. And just kind of spending some time by yourself. It's something I've never done before, but one of my close friends has done it a few times and said how awesome it was. So I went and checked it out, and it was a good time. It was fun.
Sounds remarkable, actually, being by yourself out in the desert.
Yeah. I love Sedona, but my wife was with me. It was 25th anniversary, so it was not technically by myself. But after 25 years, we still had just very little, not a lot to talk about.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it was still good. Still good. So do you walk past the white jerseys ever and say, man, I can't wait to wear you in October? Do you like the schedule where it's nothing but the blue jerseys to start off with? 5 home games. Do you like that schedule?
Absolutely. It's fun. Anytime we play in front of our fans, it's a great opportunity. So it'll be fun to be at home for the first 5. I've never experienced that yet in my career, so it'll be new. It's kind of a unique schedule. I think we're 5 home, 3 on the road, like 3 home again or something like that. So it's kind of a schedule of different runs,
Yeah.
And so we need to take care of business at home, defend our place, and put our best foot forward for our fans at home. And I know they're going to have our back and help us out, and then go take a test with the white jerseys on, like you said.
All right, 6:30, Jordan-Hare Stadium, Alabama A&M in town to take on the Auburn Tigers Saturday night. I know everybody's excited to have football back at Jordan-Hare. You included, Payton. Thank you very much for the time. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Sound good.
Take care. Payton Thorne with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He'll join us every single Tuesday at 9:25. As a reminder, you can get everything about that, practices, the game, basketball, whatever, is at Auburn. You get it at thebarnauburn.com. Thebarnauburn.com. Zach and Kyle and Little T and Brad Law, the entire gang, they're doing a great job at thebarnauburn.com. Go try it out for just $1 in your first month. And if you like what you see, I think you will. Stay tuned right there at thebarnauburn.com.